Hello all, Shadwell here, ready to talk about the next film in my collection, Diary of a Wimpy Kid: The Long Haul from 2017. It's directed by David Bowers and stars Jason Drucker and Alicia Silverstone. The Long Haul? Try the long title, as this is one of the longest titled films I've reviewed so far. It's right up there with Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba: The Movie Mugen Train and Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. But there are plenty of more long-titled films that come over the next several years of this project. I already gave a little bit away in yesterday's review, but let me talk about it a little more. Yesterday I told you that the thing separating this film from the original Diary of a Wimpy Kid trilogy is that those were released very close to each other, 2010, 2011, and 2012, and then they took a 4-year break and filmed this Diary of a Wimpy Kid film in 2016 and released it the following year in 2017. As time had passed and the cast were young kids of a junior high age, guess what? They were all aged out by the time they started talking about filming a fourth Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie. Now, series creator Jeff Kinney first brainstormed a solution to the problem by having this film be fully animated. But that idea didn't stick apparently, as they thought it more prudent at 20th Century Fox, now 20th Century Studios thanks to the Disney buyout, to recast every character including the parents. This move is responsible for a lot of this film's downfall, as the energy and vibe the original cast had going with each other in those first 3 films is gone in this 4th film. In fact, the only performances that don't feel a little hollow are that of the parents, now played by Alicia Silverstone and Tom Everett Scott. Which makes sense, because I would argue that this film is less about Greg and more about featuring his parents. There's also a funny connection between the original Frank Heffley and the new Frank Heffley, as both Steve Zahn and Tom Everett Scott earlier played bandmates in a film called That Thing You Do. It is nice that a lot of the creative people behind the camera reunited for this film, so at least there was something that was at least a little consistent, but I gotta say overall that I think Diary of a Wimpy Kid is at its peak when it's dealing with the perils of junior high, and so this film about a family road trip never really stood much of a chance. Also, it means that the characters we fell in love with that were classmates of Greg's were either really lessened on their screen time or they are removed from the film entirely. I call this the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania problem, as it did something very similar. I'm going to give Diary of a Wimpy Kid: The Long Haul a C- because it isn't awful, just less than. Tomorrow we're back in George A. Romero territory with the film Diary of the Dead. See y'all then.